Oh, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. So we're learning Parsha Shlach, the Parsha Shlach, to send. Moshe Rabbeinu is told to send the spies, to send the princes, the spies, to the land of Israel, to see what's there, to see if it's strong, to spy out the land of Israel. And the Torah calls that Shlach, Shliach, to be sent, to be a messenger. So we're going to learn exactly what that means, to be a Shliach. What does it mean to be sent to do something? How is that any different than just being obligated to do something? What does it mean to be sent to do that thing? If I send you from A to B, from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv, I said, go there, do it there. Don't do it here, do it there. But here it's not simply about going there or being here. You could even be here. It's about being appointed to do something, being told, but it's a special way of being told. It's not simply being commanded. That's what we're going to have to really understand. They could have been commanded or instructed to spy out the land of Israel. Instead, Moshe Rabbeinu sends them, Shalach. What does it mean to be sent? What does it mean for you, the person actually doing it? And what does it mean about what he's doing? About the actual tachlis, what he's supposed to do, the objective. So we're going to see it's very deep. There's the simple objective that you have to go spy it out, you have to do such and such, but there's a lot. It's very, very important what the shaliach, what the messenger himself, what's happening to that person, what that person has to do about it. And that, it all depends on that. It doesn't depend merely on his doing it or not doing it. Is it being done or not being done? It's not about the actual it being done or not. It's about you. Did you do it? You were sent. So it's very, very important. There are two parts to the shlichut. There's what has to be done. We need the information, to fight a war. Whatever has to be done has to be done. But then there's something much deeper. What about you? What are you doing here in the picture? What's your part in this? Or maybe not. Maybe you should not really take any personal part in this. On the one hand, it's clear that there's an objective. What has to be done? It doesn't really matter who does it. It just has to be done. That's certain. But besides that, there's a very important part in the shlichut about you, the person, the slave or the servant or the messenger who's doing it. That's very important. So we're gonna have to put the two together and to understand what it means to be a shliach. What were they doing in the parsha, and what it means for us? When are we a shliach? And to really understand how important it is, how important the shliach is. Okay, so let's read the medrash. He opens with the medrash. Shlichei mitzvah shenosnin nafsham v'shlichusam. Now, shlichei mitzvah. Now let's talk about shlichei mitzvah. I could send you to deliver money to the bank. I could send you to deliver pizza. That's also called a shliach. To deliver groceries. You have to be responsible. that pizza gets, while it's still warm, it gets to the customer. Okay, that's a shliach. Now, what's a shliach mitzvah? Now let's talk about mitzvahs in Torah. Now, if I have to go to do some mitzvahs in some town, I have to go there and do it. And I'm the one. It's my responsibility. Nobody else is there. I was sent to do it. So it's a responsibility, and it's a personal mitzvah that I was sent to do. Now, no sin actions. This is already let's start. This is the first condition we found now. The no sin action. You have to give your soul for what we do. So this is the first definition we have here about shliach. It's not simply to deliver the pizza. You have to give your life and soul for it. Whatever you deliver, whether it's a diamond, whether it's pizza, whether it's a mitzvah, a shliach has to really take it to his heart what he's doing. That this is what my life is about now. You have to really, it has to be something really part of you, really important to you. If not, you're not a shliach. You're doing a favor for somebody. You're doing a job for somebody. But so this is the first hint we have. To be a shliach is about giving over yourself, your whole self, for it. Now, whatever that's for, now it should be for something important, of course. That's why a shliach mitzvah is very important. You're not giving your life for stam, you're giving your life for a mitzvah. You're dedicating yourself for a mitzvah. That's something that's really good. So that's called a shliach mitzvah. Any mitzvah that a person does, a person should give his heart for it. Now, that's mitzvahs. What about everything else we do in life? But then that's not important. So he starts off with a teaching from a Zaidi. Zikni Mori Zal, my Zaidi the Rim, my Rebbe, Ragil Lomar would always tell us, Ki Gam Odom Hamakayim Mitzvahs Boro Shinishtalach Ba'olam Hazeh Kedei Lasos Ritzono Yizborach. The fact that we're here in this world is a shlichus. Because our souls came up from heaven. We're placed here now on earth, on this world, to do what we have to do. So everybody's really a shliach. What are we doing here? There's something we have to do here. We're here for 120 years, and we have to do just that and that. There's something we have to, in our lifetime, everybody is here for a reason, to do something. Something has to be done. That's also a shliach, and it's a shliach mitzvah. Because who sent you here? Hashem put you here for something important, no less important than any mitzvah. You're here for Hashem's will, to do what Hashem wants in this world. That's a mitzvah. So what the Rim is doing, he's starting off from the actual mitzvot, the clear mitzvot that the Torah says, put on tefillin, give tzedakah, do this, do that. You're a shliach, you do it, you give your life for it. Now what the Rim is saying, it's more than that. Our whole lives is one big shlichut. We're here as a shliach to give our lives for what? We don't really know, but we know that we have to dedicate ourselves for that important task. We have to be dedicated. We're a shliach. Whether we're doing a mitzvah, whether we're just going we're just relaxing, going on vacation, whatever we're doing, we are here. Hashem put us here to do something important, not to do things that aren't important. Everything we do, we have to see how important it is, and turn it into a mitzvah. Now he's gonna the kasha la medrash. Now the medrash was bothered with a problem. Ma tzivui hashlichus me'achar shelahutav be'enei Hashem.
Now we have a problem in Pasha Shlach. It says the Meraglim, the spies, were sent to Eretz Yisrael. Go there and spy it out. But then we read in Rashi, Hashem wasn't happy about this. It wasn't Hashem's idea, Bachlal. They wanted to. Hashem just said, okay. If you want to, okay. Hashem just said, there's nothing wrong with it. So there's a big difference between saying there's nothing wrong with it and saying, do it. I want you to do it. That is not a shliach. Rashi says that Hashem didn't tell them to do it. Hashem didn't really even want them to do this, but they really wanted it badly. So Hashem says, okay, I allow it. I'm not going to forbid it.
So why is that a shliach? Oh, so now he's going to explain everything. Rak, ki hoisa itza lihi notzel. The shlichut came later. And the whole shlichut of the spies, that was the gift given to us. Al yidei she'Hashem yisborach asa mizeh mitzvah. Hashem turned it into a mitzvah. Now he's saying a gewaldige chiddush, is putting everything together. We talked about every mitzvah is really a shlichut. Every shlichut is a dedication, really like a mitzvah for your purpose, for Hashem's ratzon. Now what he's saying now, what Hashem was doing was trying to make it the best that could be out of something that's not really so good. We learned that Hashem was not really happy about what they were doing. It was a low level. They should have been on a higher level of more faith. They shouldn't have spied out the land. They should have had total faith. But what they were doing wasn't proper behavior. Now, what Hashem is doing is trying to raise that up, to fix that, by turning it into a mitzvah. Shalom. Oh, Hashem. Oh, Hashem. Yeah, we're just starting. So we're discussing shalach. Yeah, shalach being sent as a message, sent on a job, on a task. Now, the meraglim, spies, we learned in Rashi. The Torah says Hashem sent them. Hashem commands Moshe, send them. And we discussed, at length. We're saying it's not simply to go and do such and such, to do a certain task. It's being a shliach is really about how dedicated you are to it. It's not about getting the job done. It's about you being the one who does it and you caring about it and being responsible for it. That's what a shliach is. And a mishaleach, that I appointed you to do it. I want you to be the one to be in charge of it. Now, all these meanings to shliach. Now, the meraglim, when Moshe Rabbeinu sent the spies, Rashi teaches us, Hashem simply said, I'm not going to forbid it. I'm not happy about it, but okay, you want to do it, nothing wrong. That's not called sending them. Hashem isn't sending them. That's called not stopping them. So why are they called a shliach? And more than that, this question is really on the Medrash. The Medrash calls it a shliach mitzvah. We're talking about the idea of shliach and the idea of shliach mitzvah, which really are very connected. A shliach mitzvah is somebody who's dedicated to a mitzvah, something good, something important. He's doing something really important. And you want to be dedicated. You have to be dedicated. If it's really important, you have to give your heart to it. Otherwise, it doesn't have any value. Now, what's a shliach? Like you say, you could be a shliach to deliver pizza. You could be a shliach to deliver a diamond. Whether it's more important or less important, but you're only a shliach if you really care about it and you're putting your heart into it to make sure the pizza gets there while it's still warm, but the diamond gets there safe. Then you're a shliach. If you don't nosen nafsho, if you don't really put your soul into it, and sometimes even your life into it, you're not a shliach. You're doing a job. You're a servant or you're an employee. You're not a shliach.
Now, the Meraglim were called the Shliach because they were totally dedicated, they put a lot into it, and they were called the Shliach mitzvah. They were sent to do a mitzvah. All that is difficult. It's not a mitzvah because Hashem wasn't talking about it. There was something, certainly wasn't positive, even if it wasn't so negative, but it wasn't positive, and it's not a Shliach, they weren't sent. So, how does it turn into a Shliach? Which is basically what all the Mefarshim deal with in the Parsha, were the Meraglim good or the Meraglim bad. Was it good what they did? Was it bad what they did? Did Hashem want it? Did Hashem not want it? Well, these are the questions going on in the Parsha. So he's discussing the Shliach aspect. Were they Shluchim? Or were they just doing it on their own? Something that was questionable if it was wanted at all. So he says a big chiddush. He answers everything. He puts it all together. He says like this. The shlichus was to fix it. Was to take something that wasn't really a mitzvah. It wasn't really a shlichut. But Hashem, by commanding, by relating to it and saying, yeah, but Hashem giving the mitzvah and giving the okay even, well, the Torah is showing us how you can turn something like that to make the best out of it, to turn it into a mitzvah. Something that seems not to be a mitzvah, I'm not talking about an aveira, not an aveira, but something that seems mundane, or something that seems even behavior that isn't the best, isn't proper, let's say, 100%, or a person is in a certain circumstance where it's a circumstance which has no mitzvahs there, nothing positive there. Whether it's a person has to get up in the morning, go to work, a person has to do whatever a person has to do. It doesn't seem anything really positive there besides maybe making money or maybe just surviving. You don't see anything positive. So what the Torah is teaching us is a big secret. That even that, you can become a shliach. You can dedicate yourself. By dedicating yourself, you'll find purpose in it. You'll find the shlichut. You'll find direction. You'll find a purpose. You'll find a kavanah that you are being sent purposely. Not just everything just happening, falling into whatever happens. It's something Hashem is sending you. And when we appreciate that whatever circumstance we fall into, when we really appreciate what that means, that we're actually Hashem sent me here. And what I'm doing, what I'm dealing with, doesn't seem to be so important. It doesn't seem to be so holy. I don't see anything positive there. But we can reveal that we're really doing something important. We can figure out why Hashem sent us there. That's what's going on in the Meraglim. There was a Chazal say there was a Yetzer Hara to go spy out the land. It wasn't necessary. It was a lack of faith. It was a low level. It wasn't necessarily an Aveira, but it's certainly a low level of faith. The Meraglim, the Nesiim, Bnei Yisrael, and the Midbar should have been on a very high level of faith, a very high level of Torah. We should have just gone out to the desert and not be afraid of anything, come into Eretz Yisrael without even thinking and asking. Why even question? So that already was a low level. It was bad behavior. It was that already was darkness. So what Hashem is saying, okay, you're there. You're dark now. You don't see. You're questioning. You're confused. You're confused. I'm going to send you as a shliach. And in all that confusion, you do have a purpose. You have a clear message. Go to that town, to that thing, and do that and that, and then you'll remember. Maybe there's hope that you'll be able to get back to give your heart and soul into doing what's important. And then he adds another nekuda, another point to it, and which will help us understand even
get back to the basic idea of shlichus. So we talked a few points what a shliach means. Now, to be sent, now we're going to focus on a very important point of ratzon. Whose idea is this? If I'm not a shliach, so I decide, it's my decision. I decide to go there, I decide to do this, I decide to do that with my life. Now, the Meraglim, they were the opposite of a shliach. Mamish the opposite. We read in Rashi, the whole idea of the Meraglim was they decided to become Meraglim. It was their idea. They didn't ask Hashem. They didn't follow Hashem. They decided on their own without really following Hashem's guidance.
The reading of the Brasha, Hashem tells Moshe.
So we're learning what Chazal say about that. If we read it carefully, Hashem is not telling Moshe, go ahead and do this because this is good. We read in Sefer Dvarim, when we read the whole story, first they wanted to go. It was their idea. After they begged and begged, we want to do this, and Hashem was not happy about it. It was a mistake. Hashem said, you really want to go spy out the land, which I promised you, you're going to conquer. I promised you, it's going to be yours. What's your doubt? What's your question? You doubt? You want to be sure? You really want to be certain? Okay, so go do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. That's why, when you put it all together, it started off as being the opposite of a shliach. That was their idea, what they wanted. Or he's getting down now to a musar level. It was really self-interest. It was really selfish. Why were they going to spy out Eretz Yisrael? They weren't doing it for heaven's sake. They weren't doing it for the proper intentions. They were doing it for their own comfort or for their own ratzon, for themselves. It wasn't a pure motive. It was a selfish motive. Now, what does a shliach mean? Shliach is the opposite of that. Shliach means that you, and that's what we're going to really discuss. The whole idea of shliach is that it's selfless. I'm a shliach. I'm sent by somebody bigger than me, somebody higher than me, and I'm just doing what that person thought is right. It's not my decision. Now that person gave me the responsibility, and I'm putting my heart into it. But what I'm really doing is following and being faithful to that person who sent me. Now, what the Meraglim did, that's the opposite of faith. They were doing it. They were doing what they wanted. They weren't following. They weren't accepting or respecting. It was self-respect. They were doing what they felt. It wasn't out of respect for Hashem's ratzon. Now comes the Sfat Emet. This is his chiddush. Then Hashem came, and like you saw in the pasuk, Hashem sent them. Go do this very important thing. So what happens is, how he's explaining this, Hashem is transforming that into a mitzvah, into something very high and lofty. Something that was selfish, they went with selfish motives. Hashem is turning that into a mitzvah, saying, you're going there, now make the best out of it. And you can, it's never too late, turn yourself into a shliach. And then the Sfat Emet connects that back into our whole essence here in this world. We're here in this world, we don't know, what are we doing here? What's going on? Doesn't seem to be so holy. We don't see the importance of, what am I doing here? What's anybody doing here? And then this world is all about just making money, having pleasure, whatever. Just we don't see the direction. We don't see the purpose. So then we have the idea of mitzvah, and in general, that our whole being here is a mitzvah because Hashem sent us here. If we understand that Hashem put us here for a reason, we understand that Hashem basically sent us here. That our souls came from up heaven. But now you're here in this world.
then it's much easier to do it. Once we know that there is, even if we don't understand what our job is, and we don't know, what is my job? It could take us years and years and years to find out exactly, what am I supposed to do about that? But to start off, at least we have to know that it is. There is a point. Hashem sent us here for a good reason. And we'll find out more and more. We'll discover more and more how important it is. But if we start off like that, I'm really appreciating. I'm a shliach. I was sent here. Something really important. And something really worth dedicating my life for. And it raises ourselves up. It raises the world up. And turns it all into good, into a shliach and positive. That's the gift Hashem is giving, and it connects that to the whole idea of Torah and mitzvot. We have 613 mitzvot. Do this, don't do that. These are mitzvot. What we learn, it's a very important teaching. The mitzvot are like candles that are to light up the rest of the world. Not the actual. The point of doing a mitzvah is not just that mitzvah that I'm doing. The idea of a mitzvah is, as the Sfat taught us out, to reveal that all of life is really mitzvah, is about mitzvah, is about seeing the mitzvah in everything. Okay. Now, of course, to actually do this, there's one condition we have to accept. Shliach is gewaldig. We can be here and be really important, really purposeful. But what's the price for it? How much does it cost? What do we have to do for it? It doesn't just happen. You don't just press a button and then life becomes meaningful and it's important and I'm important. How do I get there? So it's like this. Mitzvah, whether it's a mitzvah, whether it's just living life, there's a condition. If the person mevatel be'emet kol ritzono, if a person is mevatel, you know what mevatel means? It means humility cancels, or if he truly is selfless, a person's own selfish motives, and what a person really wants for ego, for oneself, if a person raises above that, he totally is able to go beyond all those selfish motives. Af lo lizkot lemadrigot, even not to think, oh, I'm so holy because I'm doing that mitzvah, I'm so good. Oh, I'm doing something really important. I'm so important. It's really important what I'm doing. And also not to think about that. And what to think about? What's the kavanah? Kedei lasot rotzon Hashem bilvad. What is the ultimate shliach? When I'm here in this world, I'm doing an important mitzvah, important, which is really important. Now, what am I thinking of? Why am I doing it? Who am I doing it for? As long as it's still about me, I need to be pure. Madrigot is whether it's being holy, or as we learned a lot in this Sfat. Even if I want to be a better person, which is also something good, I want to behave, I want to be a man, I want to really do tshuva and fix all my problems to be a better person, which is beseder. He doesn't say that's bad, that's good. But that's still not being a shliach. There's still more. As long as I'm thinking about myself, and I'm missing the point. I have to be a shliach. Ratzon Hashem bilvad. Not what does Hashem want? Not what do I want? That's called noisen nafshoi bashlichus. That's called giving your life, your soul. Doesn't mean literally dropping dead. Well, I'm going to deliver that diamond
It'll be shot. That's not called noisin nafshoy. It's not going to get there. If a person dies while doing the shlich, he didn't do the shlichut or mitzvot. A person is not supposed to die. A person is supposed to do and to live. So what does it mean to give your life? To give your nefesh, your ratzon, your selfish motive. That's what it means, giving yourself away. For what? For what you're supposed to do. And what it really means is also based on a teaching this Sfat talks about a lot, if we get to it at the end, to really appreciate what mitzvahs do and how the shlichut, how does this happen? The truth is, it's physically impossible. So to understand this and appreciate it, you have to really understand how it's really, what's the big deal about this. According to Torah, according to Chazal, it's physically impossible for us to raise ourselves above ourselves, our own ego, to do something with 100% pure motive. So how do we do this? So the point is like this. This is the gift of a shlichut or of a mitzvah. Because it's not about me, it's about the shlichut. If I have to do that mitzvah, now I am not doing what I asked. Hashem said that mitzvah has to be done. If I decide to be a good person without a mitzvah, or without accepting that Hashem put me in this world to be that good person, because I think I have to be a good person, it won't work. It won't work in the end. Without accepting Hashem, but Har Sinai and Shavuot, Hashem gave us all these presents, all these gifts, called mitzvot. That's the only way to get out of myself, out of all of my problems, my body, my desires, my selfishness. The only way to get out of that is by the Torah Hashem gave us. That the mitzvot, by just doing. Not about talking and thinking, but doing.
You wouldn't work because there is an ego. When you say I do something, you become a good person. That's your ego.
Yeah. So what he's saying, I mean, these are like when the basic teaching of Sfat is about that, based on Tanya. It's a very, very important teaching in life. That if I think about my ego, I think, I want to have better motives. I want to go beyond my ego. You learn about it. It won't work. Because if it's I want to be pure, I want to be beyond my ego. So it's I want. It won't work. It won't work. You can try for 80 years, waste 80 years, and still you didn't get in. You see that you didn't get any. Chas v'shalom, a person go all that life, and it won't work. But there's something called ma'aseh. Just do it, like an eved. Just do the mitzvah, ma'aseh. That's something selfless. And that's the gift of mitzvot. It's not that we decided that this is a good idea, this is a good symbolism, this is a mitzvah. That's us. But doing a shlichut, that's something really. That's something we have to appreciate every mitzvah. Or dvar Torah. What does it mean to learn Torah? If it's just what we think, I think this, I think that. We like to say divrei Torah, right? We get at the Shabbos table. I have this idea, I have that idea. Nice Torah ideas. We think that's Torah. That's not Torah. That's what we think. Torah is doing what Hashem wants. If we're able to not, I want this, I want that, I want to be good, I want to be better. No. If we can understand that Hashem wants us to be better, then it's Torah. How do we do that? Only by ma'aseh. Na'aseh v'nishma. You could only be nishma. You only hear Hashem's voice. You only can hear Hashem's voice and not your voice if it's na'aseh. If you did what He said, the halacha, the mitzvah, then you get the real nishma. Then you're not talking, you're hearing.
Because you're doing it for the reason that Hashem told you. And then eventually you might understand something. But if you first understand, it means that you're putting your ego first. And then you're not doing
כי אם מצרף חצו, אין השליח. If I have a job to do, if I'm a shliach, I have to deliver something. And while I'm doing it, I think, I also have to meet a friend there. I have a friend there I have to meet. I'm going to buy something. There's something, a good price there in that town. That's not a shliach. If you're sent as a shliach, you have to help somebody, whatever, do something in some town, then you're really not allowed to think about any other. You're not allowed to think about any other things you could do while you're doing the shlichut. Because if you are, you're doing a favor, but you're not being a shliach. A shliach is somebody who has to be totally dedicated. Today, if I'm your shliach to go to deliver a pizza or whatever it is, I'm not allowed to think about on the way picking up something and saying hello to somebody. Otherwise, I'm not a shliach.
no, that's the problem. If you're doing what you're supposed to do,
Because that's not a shliach. Because a shliach is it's not about just getting it done. You got it done. You did it. But it's about being totally dedicated to it. That's what it's about. And if you think about yourself or something else besides the actual job, this is a big chiddush. I mean, you ask me a good question. It's a good question. Why can't I be both? I'll be a shliach. I'll deliver the groceries, whatever it is. On the way, I'm at the phone call, and on the way, I'll this, and I'll stop over and drop off something. What's the big deal? So he says, the more you do things like that, the less you can call yourself a shliach. Because that's what we started off with. I mean, it's not all or nothing, of course, there are levels. You could be a shliach, and there's a perfect shliach, there's a shliach, that's almost good. But the point is, the shliach is not about getting the job done. The shliach is about being that person's shliach. And in our case, it's being Hashem's shliach. Being a shliach of the Torah, of the mitzvah. That's what it's about. If it was about getting the job done, if Hashem needs tefillin to be put on people's arms, so I got the tefillin on my arm. But it's not about that. Hashem doesn't need the tefillin on people's arms. It's about me doing it by following Hashem. And therefore, the more I do other things, I'm not a shliach.
The rich has one purpose, to fulfill the reason for what he sent them. There's nothing else. As soon as there is something else you think about or you try to combine with, you lose the real thought of Sharia, because the real message just gets for the message. Bring the pizza to there, not say hello to, and the original messenger who sent the Sharia had just this one purpose, one focus: bring the pizza from A to B. And
he wants your focus. He wants you. He doesn't want the pizza. He wants you. Now, it's about getting pizza, but he doesn't want. If the pizza gets there, it won't be as responsible enough. He wants you to be in charge of it. You put your soul into it.
No, but sometimes it's about the act. Like if you're going with somebody and you're gonna translate for them,
Like what?
translate something for them, like you're meet for somebody else. You, I mean, okay, they like your company or whatever, but at the end of the day, for them, the important thing is to get the translation, to get the help with the doctor, the translation.
Yeah, yeah. So one of two things. Either so you're not a shliach, you're working for yourself. Or
You work, you're doing a favor.
yeah, a favor, same thing. That's not a shliach. Or what usually happens, if it's something really serious, it's a real medical serious thing. You you're not supposed to think about anything else while you're doing it. You have to dedicate yourself to it. If this is something really serious, a serious business thing, and you're hired to translate it, then it's expected to that's all you care about now. That's what you're dedicated. That's what your life is about now. That's what you agreed to. You agreed to. That's what the person wants. The person wants a shliach. If the person demands a shliach because it's really, really important, then they want you to put your neshama into it.
You're talking about just doing it or putting all of you into it?
Mamish, yeah. Now the Meraglim, when it started off, it was the opposite. It wasn't about putting their neshama into it. On the contrary, it was all about themselves. It wasn't about sacrificing themselves. It was for themselves. When Hashem said shlach, they understand that no matter where you are, you're here for a purpose. And you can overcome it. You can overcome all of that ratzon. Everybody has something selfish, and we're all selfish. Meraglim, even if they're a big tzaddikim, but we all have that selfish part to us. But by sending the Meraglim, by turning it into a mitzvah, Hashem is telling the Meraglim, no, you don't. You can be selfless. You can do that. It's a miracle. It's something. It's something. It's hard to understand how a person can really reach that purity. It's something. It's almost impossible. Physically, it's impossible. But by the gift of the mitzvot, by accepting the mitzvot, by Hashem's gift, by accepting Hashem's gift, then we're doing it for Hashem, and that's what takes us through, and it brings us. We can conquer, we can overcome all of that, all of those desires, and all of those things that can distract us. We can be a shliach because we know this is the mitzvah that has to be done, and I'm doing Hashem's mitzvah. That's something pure. Maybe I'm not pure, but I know the mitzvah is pure, and one day I'll get there. I'll get more and more and more. I'll never be perfect because Hashem wants us to be human beings. We are human beings. But doing more and more mitzvot and revealing more and more in this world how it's really a mitzvah of Hashem. It's not about me. We'll be able to overcome our midot, our ga'ava, and our selfishness. And that's we have to always keep on more and more and more. Not to just give up and say, oh, that's what I am. I'm perfect. I'm a good person. I'm doing a lot of good. I have good intentions. But the Torah demands from us is to always say there's more. There's more. You could be more selfless. You could be more selfless. And if you think you're selfless, you still be more. Because you could be totally selfless. The mitzvot are totally selfless. The mitzvot are Hashem's ratzon. But I'm me. I can't just fix that and take that away, otherwise I won't be me anymore. But I think what he's saying is that by accepting the mitzvot, then that tells me always to strive for more and more and more. Never to say, yeah, I did. I'm selfless. I'm good. I'm perfect. We like to say that. I decided I'm really good. We are good. We're great. But great, not to say that, okay, I'm fine. I'm enough. Never to say that. Mitzvot are telling us, no. The Hashem's mitzvot. Hashem is perfect. And we're doing the mitzvot which are perfect. They always push us to do more and more and more. And that's what the Meraglim had to. That was the conflict. That was the fight going on in the whole story of the Meraglim. Can we really We do more and more and more. No matter how much we do, are we always striving to do more? Are we trying to be a shliach, totally dedicate, or no? Or is it not about that? And Hashem is giving us a test, sending us as shluchim, or sending the meraglim as shluchim. That's a test. Are we really gonna? And we could. Are we to strive and strive and strive?
That means at the beginning when it was their own focus, their own intention to go, when God commanded them, Hashem commanded to them, then it was the challenge to become a shaliach, to overcome this own will.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, it's a gift. It's a gift, but it's a gift, and it's really a responsibility. It's really a commandment. A true gift. The only true gift is the commandments. What's the greatest gift Hashem gives us that we have in this world is what he's saying here, that we can do more. We can be on a higher level. We can strive to have better intentions. If we're doing in this world, we're doing mitzvot. We're being better and better and better. Now, the truest gift is the mitzvot, telling us you always have to become better, and you always can become better.
But the mitzvah helps you to become better.
Yeah,
And that's why. So,
and it's a responsibility. It says you have to do. You think, I've been in yeshiva for 10 years, I've done this. I don't know how it works in the Western world or in other cultures. You think, okay, yeah, I'm a good person. Who's going to tell me to strive to be better? I can always be better, but who's going to tell me that it's infinite? Not to pat myself on the back and say, yeah, I'm really good, I did enough. We're here to be eternal. We're the eternal people. And not to feel bad about it, not to feel, I'm terrible, I'm nothing, I didn't do anything. That's also not good. That's not being eternal. That's not being eternal. That's also saying, so I'm nothing. Eternal means that even if I'm great, I'm doing so much, we're always starting from more and more and more. Never to say, that's enough. The world is good enough, or whether it's us personally or the world. We can look at the world. That's one of the main teachings of the Torah, what the Torah is all about. The difference between Judaism and other religions. Other religions believe that the world, with all the good and all the bad, we have to accept it the way it is, basically. We can't really fix the world. The world is fixed. The world is what it is. All the evil forces, all the bad desires in the world, whether you be a pagan and say, okay, we'll worship it, we'll live with it, or you be a Christian and say, yeah, it's fixed. This is good. All that is not having faith that you can really fix the world and become better and better and better. And we're here for a shlichut. That it's basically saying, yeah, this is the physical world. These are the problems in the world. There's bad. There are people suffering. There's evil in the world. It's basically saying Hashem can't fix that. Hashem has to follow this. This is the world Hashem created. All other religions accept that, basically. Yeah, help a little bit, fix it, be better. But to have faith that it could be really fixed, that's a Jewish idea. That the world could be good, that's a Jewish idea. It's because we know that there's better and better and better. That Hashem gave us the mitzvot at Har Sinai, saying, okay, Hashem is not saying simply, okay, so be better, help a few people, give some charity. Hashem saying there's mitzvot. You can be perfect. What does that mean to be perfect? But we can't be perfect, we're people. But it means always more and more and more. We'll always fight more, fight for more, fight for more. The minute we say, yeah, I'm not fighting for more, this is good, why fight anymore to make the world better? Why fight to make myself better? The minute we say that, then we're missing the point of the Torah, Hashem's plan in the world. Hashem's whole plan of Geulah, of Tikkun. No, it could be better and better and better. It could be really good. It's impossible. Look at the world today. Can the whole world just be good? No more evil, no more suffering. Can I fix my problems? Can I become a really holy person, a great person, and help the world and save the world? Well, how can that be? We can't see that. The whole idea of mitzvot is telling us No, Hashem gave us mitzvot. We can strive to be there, and the world will come there. More and more and more. And what he's saying about shlichut, what it really does to us is saying that it's not really important. I don't have to see the results. It's not for self-gratification. I don't have to see the results. I don't have to all of a sudden not have any evil desires. All of a sudden I'm a good person. It's not about that. It's about working for it, being a shliach. I'm happy. We have to be happy in Torah, doing another mitzvah, doing another mitzvah, doing another mitzvah. Do we see the results? We don't have to see the results. We have to do. We have to be a shliach. We're a shliach.
And that's madrigot. That's what he's saying. A very critical point here. If we're doing the mitzvot and we want to see ourselves as better people, we want to feel that and see that already, and that's why we're doing it, then what happens? Okay, so now today, I became a better person. I was a good person today, so I was enough. I can take it easy now. I did it. But it's not about that. It shouldn't really interest us. Am I a pure or better person? That's not the point. The point is to serve Hashem, to do more. Hashem is infinite, more. And then when you start thinking like that, then things become really infinite. Then that gives us a life. The world becomes alive. Always. Where's it going to go? We can't know. We have to be servants, and we can't think too much. Because we just know we're here to serve Hashem. We're not here to see it now, to see the good. If we're looking to see the good and everything complete now, then we could just say, okay, this is good, I'll take this. I'll accept the world the way it is, I'll accept myself. And then that's the whole point of mitzvot is to be an Eved. If we do the mitzvot, we think, I kept Shabbat, I'm a good person now, and we miss the point of Shabbat. That's avodah zarah. We're not serving Hashem with that mitzvah. We're serving ourselves.
But when we keep Shabbat, let's assume that we enjoy it. So if we enjoy it, then we are getting something good out of it. So we didn't do it for Hashem.
Oh no, we have to enjoy it, of course. But what to enjoy? To enjoy something, this is already something very deep. Do we enjoy something that we can see and feel? Or do we want to be on a higher level? To enjoy the fact that we're selfless, that we're looking for more. We have to reach a madriga that we are sameach, that other people, that Hashem, that other people, something is happening, that the mitzvot are being done. We have to be sameach that there's a mitzvah. And we talk about feeling, we kept the Shabbat. So what he's saying here, it's a certain low level. It has to do with spiritualism and feeling. According to Chazal, Chassidut, that's a very, very low level. If we do a tefillah, we keep a Shabbat, and we feel so connected with Hashem, we think that's a high level. That's a low level. A high level is to have joy and to have gratification that somebody else feels good. That person feels really high. That's Ratzon Hashem, not my Ratzon. That's something. Ooh, to feel good that there are a lot of people here, whether it's the Jewish people, whether it's your friends, whatever it is, you see somebody else succeeding and feeling better and feeling a good Shabbat, which is important. We're here to Hashem wants us to enjoy, and the world is good. It's about good. But does that make us happy? That there are people who are enjoying, and we're also part of that. We're also people. We should enjoy, but only if it's selfless. If we're just as happy as other people enjoying. It's not about me, ego. I have to enjoy my Shabbos. We have to enjoy our Shabbos as part. If you see that other people enjoy it and you're happy about that, or you see that there is truth in the world, there are mitzvot in the world, and we're happy about that, that's being a shliach. These are really high madrigot. It seems very simple. It's basically leaving our ego. It's basically just following Hashem and keeping the mitzvot. But it's something that's always growing and always, something to strive for. It's
We're doing it because Hashem told us in Torah, and if we enjoy, okay, that's like secondary. But the main thing is that Hashem said that.
we enjoy that somebody else enjoys. Just to bring it down to earth, it's hard to picture Hashem's
sameach, that Hashem is happy that we did his picture, but we can picture it much easier. Oh, I did it. I kept Shabbat, so I had a really peaceful Shabbat, and this is very deep, heavy musar. Let's say I become a good person. I like helping people, and I'm happy. That's selfish. What if somebody else becomes a good person? You see that person always wanting to help people, and I'm happy that that person is wanting to help people. That's being a shliach. And we have to be happy. We're here to be happy. With joy fills our life with joy and meaningful. You see, oh, look, that person is really helping people. That person is clean. That person is good and doing good. I'm happy about dancing and joyful about that. That's already a sign that we're for real. These are what the Torah. That's how great the mitzvot are. What the Torah demands from us and gives us all of this. But with Hashem's help.
Yeah, but for people that, for example, don't keep Shabbat, if you tell them that, then they will be like, whatever, I enjoy more going to the whatever. So it's a good starting point to show how you enjoy Shabbat, how you can enjoy Shabbat.
Mm-hmm. You're right. No, that's what I said. No, that's what he mentioned that clearly. It's a madriga, it's a level, but it's a certain level. It's one of the beginner levels. Mm-hmm. But the higher level, and we all know about tshuva, it's one of the important in the Hasidic teaching. When you start off, whether it's Shabbat or Torah, you enjoy it, you like it. Mm-hmm. But then after a few weeks, we all know it's boring, it's dry, or it's frustrating, and it's the opposite. It's really can go terrible. Mm-hmm. Because Hashem takes it away from us sometimes. To see if are we really doing it for Hashem's sake. Mm-hmm. And then that Baal Tshuva who keeps Shabbos, we tell that person, that's something very practical you're asking. We tell that person, it's good, and it is good. It's all about simcha. The only question is what level we are on to appreciate. We tell that person, it's great, Shabbat is great, you feel good. Now, when that person studies more or learns more, you tell them, you care about that person? You care about that person? It's very important for a Baal Tshuva, because it's a big trap in Tshuva. If a person studies Torah the wrong way, it can turn into Avodah Zarah. Mm-hmm. If a person goes to the wrong teachers, then the teachers will tell the person, Shabbat is about that good feeling. Tefillah is something really close to Hashem. You are close to Hashem. Sfat Emet says the truth. That's it. If you keep on doing that, you'll become far from Hashem. Only if, when you see somebody else in tefillah, say, wow, that person is close to Hashem, you're happy about it, then you're really serving Hashem. After you kept Shabbat a couple years, you're about Tshuva, a few months, then you become more mature. It's like, there's something deeper than just self-gratification or instant gratification. There's something deeper. It's to make me really a better person, just to fix the world. That more people should be happy, more people should have that feeling, more people, whether I have it or not. And I get that feeling, that happiness, merely by seeing other people happy like that. That's what it's all about. That's the truth. Now, it may take a long time to reach that madrega, but it really helps us. We know clearly we start out the path straight. We follow what Chazal say clearly. A clean path of really high Torah, If we start off straight, then we can really, get far. With Hashem's help, we should all succeed this week and every